Hello there, welcome to Fort Triumph with Ungainly Titan, and this episode I'm just continuing the gameplay. I went in search of Fort Triumph. Well, the gameplay is actually from before the last video. Some of it was used in the footage of the last video, some of the random encounters. But Guy and the rest of the development team will be pleased to note I have no bad things to say about the game in this particular video. Nor do I have anything to complain about, nits to pick, or anything of that nature. So hi Guy, you can relax. No mad long typing screed needed on forums or YouTube for this particular video. However, what did I do? Basically, I just went and looked for Fort Triumph, and I've actually managed the first Fort Triumph encounter proper. That's recorded, but I won't be able to show it in this video because it would be too big a chunk of video for me to put up. I just wouldn't get it uploaded. It would take more than one day, and therefore I break them up into smaller videos. So I assaulted the bridge leading into the kind of final area that leads up to the area of Fort Triumph, and then I come to a bridge that doesn't seem to work very well. And I remember, finally, because I hadn't done it in several previous encounters, to actually distribute out the goodies to my party members before I go about assaulting the bridge or generally doing stuff. Bridge appears to be unpassable. And then the night thing kicks off, which took more than one click. It probably should have happened with one click, but anyway, I'm not too sure. But the night thing clicked off. I couldn't pass the bridge, couldn't see any other obvious way of anything to happen. And then, when it finally finished up shifting little characters around, these guys appear. A well-armed band of skeleton heroes approaching the horizon. 2 arms. I don't have a choice of getting out of this fight. This fight, we have to take what's coming. The fight itself turns out to be a kind of a part job assessment, job interview. And these guys have a reputation which precedes them. I was just thinking to myself, so when I read that, I remember being in a role-playing campaign many years ago, where one of the characters opined that as a party we would be feared if we'd left survivors. As it was, we were kind of an anonymous force wandering the countryside, randomly bumping into various bad guys and causing carnage and annihilation, and nobody knew who was doing it or what was going on. Scale of 1 to 10, how bloodthirsty do the describe themselves to be? I mean, they're only a 3 or a 4. Amateurs. I mean, we accidentally wiped out whole cities. Well, that was more of a spreading of the plague. And we won't mention the avalanche. What was our greatest weakness? Idiocy. We had short-term memory. We had lots of short-term memory problems, in that we frequently didn't know what we were supposed to be doing. Well, especially when the campaign became an irregular thing. It's still actually going on technically. It happens maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years. I keep trying to persuade the guy that runs it to transfer it over to Fantasy Grounds. He'll run other campaigns in Fantasy Grounds, but not that one. Probably because that one requires prep. And I don't think he's ever prepped for it in his entire life. Maybe a bit, but not by a huge amount. Not the kind of detail that you'd prep for a thing in Fantasy Grounds. So the job interview section has concluded, and it's now into the let's see who can make who dead first section of the interview. I suppose you might call it the practical section, where you actually face off and see if you can get things done. I have gradually learned my lessons in this game, and I am a tad more cautious than I was at the start, when I used to start playing this at the beginning and blindly rush into situations that I shouldn't have been rushing into. So I'm going to brace people up, set up overwatches, keep my distance, make the enemy spread out and come to me, because then I have a better chance of taking them on piecemeal. So it is the bad guy's turn to move, and they swing into action with lots of overwatches. One guy charges forward and then triggers the overwatches on my side. He actually makes it through, but he triggers Elizabeth's attack of opportunity, and she finishes him off. The others are a little bit more cautious, and they don't quite rush up all the way. Well, this guy seems confused. He doesn't know what he's doing. And this guy braces himself beside the tree. And so does this guy. And I'm thinking, fireball! Yes, perfect. This is fireball territory. Now, I was wondering what to do with Ruby. And I thought, okay, maybe if I put her up there, I could set her up for future action. Wasn't too sure to go behind the tree or go behind the rock. I thought maybe I'd go behind the rock. I was thinking that the opportunity then to kick the rock or do something later on. Now I did trigger all the opportunity attacks, but I thought there was enough blocking terrain that some of them would have kind of low hit probabilities anyway. One of them did get through, and she had her 2 potions of healing as well, which they have lots of spare healing at the moment, so you know I was perfectly prepared to make use of that. Didn't know how taunt worked. Didn't know what the range of it is. That you taunt a particular enemy, or do you taunt the area? Looks like it's an area effect, and an area effect with a fairly small area of effect. They have to be pretty close to the paladin, I think, for the taunt to actually work. So it looks like you sort of move the paladin into the middle of them and then taunt them, so they'll stick around to the paladin. But Elizabeth has a level up, so I'm going with Radiant Beacon, and yeah, you read it the first time. Not sure how effective it's going to be, but now I have all the talents picked, and I'm stuck with my choices, so to speak. The decided not to do anything else, I don't think. Yes, the taunt was supposed to be doing the trick, but fireball. I could have moved her a couple of squares closer. I could have actually got an extra bad guy in the fireball area effect, which would have been sweet. And we get quite a few bad guys. We've taken out 2 of them, including one of these sort of named party members. Now we have another named party member gone. And I think there's only one remaining, one named party member remaining, which is the Savage. She's done a fair bit of damage to Elizabeth. Everybody else moves first, and yeah, it's a double move, so they're not going to attack. Elizabeth has full cover behind the tree, so that shouldn't be a big issue. This guy's going to thump Juliana, but she's okay, she's got plenty of hit points. That really would have hurt if Ruby hadn't braced. And we now have Ruby's turn, so Ruby will make a straightforward attack on the big guy. Followed up by a miss. You missed. He's standing out in the open. You can get these 10% shots like almost every time, and then they're standing out in the open. It's 90% shot. They miss. Juliana had to be pulled back out because that was not a comfortable place to be, and I'm going to force a move here on the Savage. And an attack of opportunity is triggered, and as soon as the last named party member is killed, the rest of them, well, she utters her final words, and the rest of them fall over and die. Cue friendly looting of the corpses and going over their stuff. Anything that's not nailed down is theirs. Anything they can pry loose with a crowbar is not nailed down. Going over the corpses, you find a sharp and thick piece of parchment made to easily fit in the hand or backpack. It reads, Jezebel, professional paladin. Menacing bodyguard, etc., etc. Fort Triumph. Good God. Draws out the correct conclusion that Fort Triumph has fallen. So we must hurry. Someone may save Fort Triumph before we have a chance to perish fighting for it. I must say the optimism is just reassuring. They haven't finished looting. Elizabeth, looting is important. So, looting, all pockets full of shiny stuff, and off they go. And Fort Triumph was revealed. It is quite large. There is still, however, the problem of the slightly misplaced bridge that doesn't look like it's quite right, quite on the land. You find the blocked off bridge, you hold up a shard, receive the mages, and the path forward is revealed. From behind one of the columns steps out an old bridge keeper. And cue a parody that I reckon if I put this up on YouTube, done completely off my own bat, I'd get a copyright strike, or at least the video would be monetized by some unknown third party. If you guys want to do it, that's fine by me. And if any young ones out there have not seen the original movie, it is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's worth a look. So having answered the questions 3, solved the riddle, and we're now into Fort Triumph, but I won't cover the fight on the gates at Fort Triumph because that'll take another half hour, 40 minutes, and I just don't have time to put up a video that long. I have actually recorded the first combat, and it looks like there's going to be quite a series of combats involved in the whole Fort Triumph section of the campaign. And I certainly look forward to it with interest. I'm not sure if there are any other further plot twists. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a like. If you've not already done so, please subscribe. I'll catch you all again soon with the next episode. Bye for now.